My husband's dead wife knocked on my door at midnight. My name is Kate. I'm 34, married to David for 3 years. We met at a hospital fundraiser. I'm an ER nurse. He's a pharmaceutical sales director. He was widowed, or so I thought. I'd seen the photos, his first wife, Claire. Dark hair, warm smile. Cancer, he'd said. Stage 4 pancreatic. She'd died 6 years ago. He'd shown me her death certificate. I'd held him while he cried, talking about her. I'd even visited her grave. Flowers every month. Claire Margaret Harrison, 1985-2018. The woman standing on my porch looked exactly like the photos. Older, thinner, hair graying, but her eyes, the same green eyes from David's wedding album. "You're Kate," she said, not a question. "I'm Claire. I need to talk to you about our husband." I should have called the police, should have slammed the door, should have thought she was insane. Instead, I heard myself say, "Come in." Because something in her voice, exhausted, certain, made every instinct in my body scream that she was telling the truth. We sat in my kitchen, the kitchen I'd renovated, with money from joint accounts while David was on a business trip in Chicago. Claire's hands shook as she pulled documents from a worn folder. "I need you to see these," she said. "All of them, because he'll tell you I'm crazy. That's what he's been saying for 12 years. The first document was a marriage certificate. David Harrison and Claire Margaret Patterson, June 12, 2011, 3 years before he told me she died. "We were married 14 years, Claire said. "I was a high school math teacher. We had a good life until I got sick." She showed me medical records, 2017. Diagnosis, severe depression with psychotic features. Hospitalization recommended. "Except I wasn't sick," she said. "I was sad. My mother had just died. I was grieving. David said therapy would help." The next document made my hands numb. An involuntary commitment order, signed by David Harrison, spouse, countersigned by Dr. Robert Vance, psychiatrist. Patient Claire Harrison, danger to self and others, requires long-term institutional care. "He had me committed to Riverside Psychiatric Hospital," she said. "Told me it was a wellness retreat. Told me I'd be home in 2 weeks. She showed me photos on her phone. A facility, sterile, institutional. "I've been there for 12 years. He visits once a month. Tells the staff I have no other family, that I'm delusional about having a life before." The next document made my hands numb. A death certificate. Claire Margaret Harrison. Date of death, May 3, 2018. Cause of complications from advanced pancreatic cancer. "He faked my death," Claire said. "Filed it with the state. Had a funeral. Buried an empty casket. All while I was alive in Riverside." "Why?" I whispered. "Because I'd just gotten a $2 million inheritance from my mother. He wanted it. And he wanted a new life." She showed me banking documents, power of attorney. David Harrison authorized to manage assets of incapacitated spouse. Every penny. Transferred to accounts in his name only. "I couldn't do anything," Claire said. "I was involuntarily committed. No one believed me. The doctor said I had delusions of persecution, that my false memories of my previous life were part of my psychosis." "How did you get out?" I asked. "I didn't. I'm still a patient. But 6 months ago, they changed my medication. Something worked. My mind cleared. I started documenting everything, demanding lawyers. They said I was being difficult, but I filed a request for a court-appointed advocate. The advocate looked into my case, found inconsistencies, got me a hearing. Last week, a judge reviewed my file. She pulled out the final document, a court order. Patient Claire Harrison, re-evaluation required. Commitment status under review. Temporary unsupervised leave granted pending investigation. How long do you have? I asked. 72 hours before I have to report back. I looked at her. This woman who was supposed to be dead, who'd lost 12 years, who sat in my kitchen while my husband, our husband, thought she was safely locked away. We have 72 hours, I said. We're going to bury him. I called in sick to work, told them family emergency. Technically true. Claire and I spent the next 20 hours reconstructing everything. Timeline. 2011, David and Claire marry. Happy. Normal. 2015, Claire's mother dies, leaves her $2 million. 2016, David suggests therapy for Claire's grief, introduces her to his friend, Dr. Vance. 2017, David has her permitted, takes power of attorney, transfers inheritance. 2018, David files a forged death certificate, has funeral, introduces himself as a grieving widower at a hospital fundraiser. 2019, David and I start dating. 2021, David and I marry. I never questioned his story because he had a grave, a death certificate, photos of a funeral. While I was falling in love with him, his first wife was in a psychiatric hospital being told she was delusional about her own life. Claire pulled out her phone, showed me texts she'd saved. From David, sent to her hospital patient portal. Thinking of you, hope you're feeling better soon. The doctors say you're making progress. So proud of you. Remember, I'm here for you, always. Gaslighting, from a distance, making her think he was a devoted husband visiting his sick wife. He told me you were his cousin, Claire said. He showed me photos, said you were helping him through his grief over my illness. I looked at my wedding ring. Gold band, same as his. Same as Claire's, still on her finger after 12 years. We need evidence, I said. Everything, every document, every transaction, every lie. Claire smiled, first time since she'd arrived. I've been documenting for 6 months, she said. I knew if I ever got out, I'd need proof. Step 1, get Claire legal representation. I contacted a lawyer I knew from the hospital, specialized in medical malpractice and civil rights violations. This is... She paused, reading Claire's file. This is criminal. Multiple felonies. Forgery of death certificate, felony. False imprisonment via fraudulent commitment, felony. Financial exploitation of an incapacitated person, felony. Bigamy, felony. He's going to prison, the lawyer said. Both of you will get justice. Step 2, gather financial evidence. I had access to David's accounts, our joint accounts. I'd never looked closely before. Trusted him. I looked now. $2.3 million transferred from Claire's inheritance account to David's personal account in 2017. Used to buy our house in 2020, used to renovate in 2021, used to fund his business expansion in 2022. I'd been living in a house bought with his first wife's stolen money while she lived in an institution. Step 3. Document David's complicity with Dr. Vance. Claire's lawyer subpoenaed Dr. Vance's records, found emails. David to Vance. She's asking too many questions. Can you adjust her medication? Vance to David. Increased sedation protocol. She'll be calmer. David to Vance. She's demanding to see a lawyer. We can't allow that. Vance to David. Noted in file as paranoid delusion. Commitment extended. They'd been colluding for 12 years. Step 4. Coordinate our timing. David was due home 2 days later, Friday night, expected to find me cooking dinner, expected to video call Claire at Riverside like he did every Monday. Instead, he was going to find both his wives waiting for him. And the FBI. Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Claire's lawyer filed a federal lawsuit, civil rights violation, false imprisonment, financial exploitation. Named defendants, David Harrison, Dr. Robert Vance, Riverside Psychiatric Hospital. Thursday morning, 9:15 a.m. I filed for annulment. Grounds, fraud, bigamy. Cited Claire's existing legal marriage. Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. Claire's lawyer contacted the FBI. Wire fraud, healthcare fraud, conspiracy. Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m., FBI agents visited Riverside, seized records, interviewed staff, arrested Dr. Vance. Thursday afternoon, 4 p.m., local news picked up the story. Woman falsely declared dead sues husband for imprisonment. Thursday evening, 7 p.m., David called me. "Have you seen the news?" "No," I said. "What news?" "There's a woman claiming to be my dead wife. It's insane. She must be some kind of—" "I know," I said. "She's here, with me, in our kitchen." "Kate, listen to me. She's mentally ill. She has delusions. She's been institutionalized for 12 years, I said, because you put her there." "That's not— you don't understand." "I understand you forged a death certificate. I understand you stole $2 million. I understand I've been sleeping next to a man who kept his wife locked in a hospital for over a decade." Silence on his end, recalibrating, thinking. "I'm coming home," he said. "We'll talk. I can explain." "Don't bother. The FBI will meet you at the airport." I hung up. Claire looked at me. "He's running." "Let him try," I said. David was arrested at O'Hare Airport Friday morning, attempting to board a flight to Mexico, charged with forgery of government documents, healthcare fraud, wire fraud, false imprisonment, bigamy. Bail denied, flight risk. Dr. Vance pled guilty, agreed to testify against David, surrendered his medical license. Riverside Hospital settled with Claire for $4.5 million, admitted no wrongdoing, but agreed to systemic reforms. David's assets frozen, pending restitution to Claire. Claire and I sat in my kitchen, her kitchen, bought with her money, and watched the news coverage. Woman imprisoned in a psychiatric facility for 12 years sues husband. FBI arrests man for fake death certificate and bigamy. Doctor charged in false imprisonment conspiracy. "We won," Claire said. I nodded, but it didn't feel like winning. The trial took 8 months. David tried to fight, claimed Claire had been genuinely ill, that the death certificate was a paperwork error, that he'd been trying to protect her. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing: 20 years federal prison, no parole eligibility for 15. Claire received restitution, $2 million original inheritance, $4.5 million from Riverside, $1.8 million from liquidating David's assets. Total, $8.3 million. I received annulment, the house, which technically was bought with Claire's money, half of David's retirement accounts before his conviction. More importantly, I received the truth. Claire and I talk every week now. Not often. It's complicated. She lost 12 years of her life, her career, her 30s, the ability to have children, friends who thought she'd died. I lost 3 years to a lie, a marriage that never legally existed, the version of myself that trusted easily. We're both in therapy. Different therapists. Mine specializes in betrayal trauma. Hers specializes in institutional abuse and gaslighting. Claire moved to Portland, started over. She's thinking about teaching again. Small classes, adult education, says it's less pressure. I kept the house, gutted it, renovated everything. New paint, new furniture, new memories. I'm dating again, slowly. Background checks on everyone. Trust issues acknowledged up front. Most men don't call back after I explain why. That's okay. People ask me if I've forgiven David. The answer is no. Forgiveness requires remorse. David showed none. Even at sentencing, he maintained he'd been trying to help Claire. That's the thing about gaslighters. They gaslight themselves, too, genuinely believe their own lies. Claire and I didn't just win a legal case. We broke a 12-year spell, proved she was real, that her memories were real, that the life before David imprisoned her had existed. For someone who'd been told for over a decade that reality wasn't real, that's worth more than money. I'm not the same person I was before Claire knocked on my door. That Kate, the one who trusted death certificates, who believed romantic stories about widowers, who thought love was enough, she's gone. This Kate verifies everything, questions everyone, keeps copies of documents, never assumes. Is that better? I don't know. But it's honest. And after living a lie for 3 years, after Claire lived one for 12, honesty is all we have. David lives in a federal prison in Pennsylvania now, medical wing. His health declined. Says it's stress. I don't visit. Neither does Claire. But I did visit Claire's grave once. The fake one. The empty one. I left flowers. And a note. She's alive. You lost. Then I went home to the house he bought with her money. The house that's mine now. Ours. Discover more fascinating stories like this one on our channel and be amazed.